We're at the table with Bob Ramsey, exclusively on 101sports.com.
Welcome to At the Table with Bob Ramsey. That's me. Now, I wanted to talk about Cardinals pitching coach Dave Duncan, and I thought we've got a lot of baseball experts. I got Van Slyke, Chris Duncan, Simon Tachi, Duncan, no, Stully, no. Oh, Duncan! Yeah, Chris Duncan joins us. And as I told you when I asked you to be on this piece with us, that I don't want to pigeonhole you. You're your own guy. But if we're going to talk about your dad, we ought to at least get some insight from you. I want you to react to the first thing I have. I've said this for years now, and I really believe it, and I think I can back it up with data. I believe your dad should be the first coach to go into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Going back to even when he's with the White Sox with Tony, but when I look at what he did with that Oakland A's pitching staff, converting Eckersley to be one of the best closers of all time. When you talk about Dave Stewart and Welch and all those other guys. So what do you think about that and that statement that he should go in the Hall?
I think you're absolutely right. I think you look at what he's done over the course of his whole career and how many different pitchers he's turned around and turned them into big-time front of the rotation type starters, guys that he's had that he's turned into great closers, all the Cy Young winners he's had. You look at Lamar Hoyt, Dave Stewart, you mentioned Bob Welch, and then he comes over to St. Louis and some of the things he's accomplished here. He's the longest tenured pitching coach in the history of baseball, and I definitely think because of the things he's accomplished, the World Series, the Cy Young winners, leading the league in ERA all those years, I definitely think he's deserving of that honor.
So how does he do it?
I wish I knew. I'd be a coach right now.
Go ahead. You'd be a pitching coach too.
He's just got a real knack for doing it and really helping these pitchers out, and I think a lot of it's mental. I think in some ways he's almost like a psychologist, and he's able to really give these guys confidence. He allows these guys to believe in their stuff, and they carry it over onto the field. And I think a lot of coaching, especially at the major league level, is so mental, and I think he's really good at that part of the game.
Now I'm going to ask you to comment on something that is completely unfair to you. So you either tell me no or drop me with a straight right hand,
right.
whatever it takes for you. Someday, Tony La Russa may not be a manager. I hope it's a long time from now. I'm a big fan of Tony La Russa, but you see the illness, and Tony's no spring chicken anymore. Someday he won't manage. If I were the Cardinals, that when that day comes, I'd go to your dad and say, who do you want to work with? Because your dad's I've never known him really to express interest in wanting to be a manager. Is that true?
I don't think my dad wants to manage. I think he's put a lot of work in becoming one of the best pitching coaches in baseball, and I think he's getting to the point in his career where he's really gotten good at what he's doing. And I think for him to make that jump at this point of his career just wouldn't make sense for him.
Wouldn't it be a good idea to ask him who he wants to work with?
It might not be a bad idea, but I think, he's really good at handling these pitchers and the pitching staff, and I think that with his mentality, there's a lot of different guys he'd be able to work with. I know him and Tony have been together their whole careers, and hopefully it doesn't get to a situation where we'd have to see them break up.
That's Chris Duncan. I'm Bob Ramsey at the table.